Got some more point from his church guys today. Now, I'm not sure 100% if this is actually going to be fully implemented or not, but before I get into this, I want to make it very clear that the stuff that's happening in places like New York and California and Australia and Israel and France, right? The things that are happening in these places are eventually what's going to be happening everywhere else, just like what happened last year, right? But basically, the point being is that as time goes on, the crackdown is going to get much bigger to get as many people as possible to go along with this whole thing, right? So, we haven't been telling people for a good while now to be ready to stand their ground for no reason. We've been telling you things like this because we knew that this is eventually what it was going to come down to, and here it is, right? But this right here, like I said, I'm not sure if this is actually going to be fully implemented or not. But if it does, it's obviously going to be a very bad thing because these businesses are going to be forced to go along with it since they're going to have to choose between their businesses going bankrupt and them actually going along with it just so that their business can continue operating. And I believe they're going to be having OSHA enforcing this too if this is implemented. So I'm going to get right into this, but it says Biden includes plan to be able to fine companies that don't mandate the what up to 700K in his 3.5 trillion $3.5 trillion reconciliation package. A enforcement mechanism has been included as part of the $3.5 trillion Build Back Better bill, which you guys already know what that's all about, which allows for tenfold increase in fines for employers. The increased fines on employers could run up as high as 70K for serious infractions and $700,000 for willful or repeated violations. The mandate applies to businesses with 100 or more employees. And it's not like people actually have to go along with this, but since most people don't educate themselves about topics like these and just pretty much about the bigger picture of what's really taking place, of course, they're not going to really understand, right? And then it goes on to say the bill has been passed by the House Budget Committee and has been sent to the House floor for further debate and amendments. And by the way, that's all a show, obviously. They already know what's going to happen with this thing. They already know whether it's going to be fully implemented or not. But if most people could just, stand up and resist and say, no, we're not having this anymore and we're not doing it, then these things wouldn't be working out in their favor. But since you guys already know, most people love just doing what they're told. 9 times out of 10, that's not what's going to happen. But it says the Biden administration has included a what enforcement mechanism in it's pretty much a regurgitation of what we already read over. Says if enacted into law, the fines could rapidly bankrupt companies, which I just mentioned as well, whose employees are not what, in effect forcing businesses to comply with his inoculation drive. It comes after after OSHA published an emergency rule in the Federal Register this summer, which added what to a list of possible workplace hazards for healthcare employment. Speaker Nancy Pelosi has not yet announced when the House will vote on the reconciliation bill that includes the new what enforcement mechanism. So yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much get the point, right? This is what they want. This is what they want now for those who aren't going along with it. And don't be surprised if one day you start seeing troops at grocery stores literally enforcing this thing. And again, eventually it is going to come down to them requiring you to have your proof of getting the thing to be able to access grocery stores.